Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm so excited to be playing with new products from the Spellbinders shop designed by Simon Hurley. They are so pretty. We've got some hot foiling plates, dies, and stamps, and I'm just going to show you a few things from this collection. There's many more. So I have 3 different hot foiling plates, a die set, and this gorgeous and huge stamp set. And this is the most exciting part. Simon Hurley designed these stamps. Normally his stamps do not have dies, but with this collaboration with Spellbinders, now there's dies to cut out the stamped images. So let's dive in. I have 3 cards for you today. The first one featuring the Floral Stag die set. There's 13 dies in the set, but some of these dies cut out more than one piece. So here's what the die cut pieces look like. We have the main body of the deer. It has impressed lines so you know where to put the mouth pieces, the nose, and whatnot. There's several different florals and also foliage like leaves and branches, and there's also antlers for this deer. So let's go ahead and put this together. But right here, as I got to gluing on the nose, I realized I've lost a die, but luckily I found it. This is the die that cuts out the nose and the eyes. Don't worry, my deer's not going to have red eyes, but I wanted a red foiled nose. So here is the snout part and then the chin part. So this creates, dimension and interest on his face. And then I'll add it on the nose. Like I said, I die cut from some red foiled cardstock. And then I am adding the little pieces that define the inner part of the ear with some darker brown, and then the antlers. And I'm not going to lie to you, I wish I would have done some flocking in brown on these antlers. It would look so cool with the antlers in velvet, don't you think? Yeah, so we're going to set that aside and work on the background now. This is the Geo Snowflakes hot foil cover plate. Now, I liked this and thought it was pretty cool, but after I hot foiled it with this teal foil on this blue cardstock, I fell in love with it. You have to see this. So I'm going to cut my foil down to size using my quick trimmer and the blade for foiling. The blades do come with the quick trimmer bundle. When you purchase it, you get the blades. So I'm putting my plate face up on my preheated hot foil system, my foil pretty side down, then my cardstock. I will then add my spacer plates on top and press the timer. That's going to sit there for about a minute, get nice and hot. Then the timer goes off and I know it's time to run it through my die machine. So you just remove the entire dock from the Glimmer hot foil system and run it through the die machine to give it some nice pressure. And then once you remove the foil, you see the transferred image onto your cardstock. And this is when I fell in love with this plate. Like, I can't. It's so beautiful. It's so gorgeous. I don't know why, but I'm completely in love with it. So now I am bringing in Uncharted Mariner. I cannot get enough of this color right now. It's so gorgeous. I'm going to darken up the edges of my cardstock. Now, honestly, when this card is all said and done, you can't really tell that I darkened up the edge of it, but I had to show it because it's so gorgeous. So there it is. And also when you hot foil, it does resist the ink, but some of it might sit on top and you can just buff that off with a little dry paper towel. Okay, let's put the flowers together. I love poinsettias. I love them. So anything that has a poinsettia in it, I'm always very excited about. And Spellbinders does such a great job of adding detail with little, like, there's cut lines into this flower. It doesn't cut away something, but it cuts a pattern into it and gives you that detail, which is so very cool. All right, so I did a red poinsettia and this kind of peach colored poinsettia. I just was loving those colors today. So there's the other flowers in this set, different sizes, different shapes. And now back to my deer. So I put a dimensional piece of foam tape on the back of his head. So the sticky side is now facing these openings for the eyes. Then I could inlay the eyes. Now you could also glue a black piece of paper on the back, but then the eyes look a little recessed and I wanted them to be flush. So, love is in the details, but you do you. Whatever easiest for you. Those are really super tiny little die cuts, so you might want to put a piece of paper on the back. I kind of laid out all my flowers where I thought I would want them to go in the corners, and then I'm putting the flowers on with some foam tape, and then I am adding on my anything greenery I'm going to glue down. So I've got kind of a sagey colored green and then more of like a traditional Christmassy green. Yeah. And then my little tiny flowers, I added a little pop of white in them. So that is one corner, and I'll give you a close-up look at that. And then I'm going to glue the rest on or adhere the rest on off camera, but I'll show you what it looks like here. Oh my word. Also, the other thing I love at Christmas time is holly. Holly and red berries. Oh my goodness. And this has like a branch of holly. So cool. And I just loaded it on there. And you can see that pretty much covered up any of the ink that I added to the edge to make a darker shadow. Okay, so now the deer, I just needed to give him a little oomph. So I'm adding some white gel pen highlights to the eyes, and then I'm going to shadow out the deer with a little brown colored pencil. This might be burnt sienna, but you know, just a little shadowing is really going to bring this to life. I'm going to do right around the little cut lines that indicate like fur on the front of his chest, add a little shadowing to his muzzle area, to his ears, and wow, it made all the difference. I'm so happy that I did this. It's kind of scary when the card's all done, but I did it and it worked out. I also gave a little rosy cheek with a peach pencil, and I thought that added so much character to my stag. So there is his finished face. And then embellishment. I brought out my diamond stickles, and I'm going to add a little bit to pretty much every die cut floral in here, because you know, sometimes once you start, you can't stop. That's what happened to me. So I went for it. You know, sometimes when you have the idea, you just have to go for it. There's other times when less is more. That just doesn't happen to me very often. I tend to make more is more cards. So there is my finished card. The stickles there is wet, and then I'm going to let that set for a while, and here it is dry. So it shrinks down a tiny bit when it's dry, and for some reason this really picked up the like reds in the paper and kind of gave it a little bit of a golden effect. It's so yummy. I love it. I love how this card turned out. And now when we move on to the other cards, I kind of went with the same color inspiration, but these are a little bit more simple. So next I am playing with the Ornament string. This is a foil and cut set. So it's got one hot foil plate, which you see right here. I am putting onto my paper with some brass colored foil, and then there is a die to cut this out once it's all hot foiled. So you can see the pretty side of the plate is going to touch the pretty side of the foil, and then you're going to put the thing face down onto your preheated Glimmer hot foil system, press the timer, run it through the die machine, and then you have this gorgeous string of ornaments. And now here is the coordinating die. It's going to die cut around all those little curlies in the string, and it just cuts it really nice and tight. I did foil this in several colors. I'm actually going to end up using the green one. I didn't know at that point what I was going to create, but I knew I would just foil a bunch of them and pick out the one that I wanted. So I'm going with the same exact background as I did the first time, but this time that ink blending on the edge is going to show. So I am bringing in the Halftone holiday stamp set. I'm only using the sentiments right now from this set, but it is a gorgeous stamp set that I do plan to use the images on. And I love that the cover is attached. I love that they did that, so I don't lose that top piece because it's a giant stamp set. So I am stamping Deck the Halls with some embossing ink, and I'm using that same kind of dark teal cardstock that I've been using throughout. And when I do my embossing, I like to stamp lightly but repeatedly so I don't squish out my letters, and I've got plenty of ink on the paper to accept my California Gold embossing powder from Wow. It's gold with gold glitter. Yeah, I'm in love with it. I've been using it a lot for my holiday card creating. It's so pretty. Now there's no dies to cut out the sentiment, so I decided to fussy cut, which is, it's scary. But I am mounting this onto my card base, which is the same color. So even if my fussy cutting does not necessarily look like it was die cut, it's masked a little bit because the background is the same color. So I felt like I could totally get away with it, right? No big deal. I'm popping that up, you can see, with foam squares, as well as my ornaments that I'm going to string right through the middle of this card. I did think about putting a few of those other colors on there, but in this case, more was not more. It just looked better with one string. It had the feel that I wanted, which was a pretty monochromatic looking card. And I think it just has a little touch of elegance with that hot foil. And now I'm adding some gold. What are these called? Sequins. Yes, you knew what they were called. Yeah. All right, so I'm gluing those in place. I added quite a few, 12 of them to be exact, just in and around the design, and I think it just adds to the fun element of that string of lights being all curly cute. But the extra thing that I did add was some of that diamond stickles. I'm filling up each of those sequins with that, and that's going to give them more of a like a bauble type of look. I did accent my ornaments with this as well, just some teeny tiny dots, and that definitely gave them a little bit more interest. That was really fun. So here's what it looks like when it's all wet, and then I will show you also what it looks like dry right here. So you can see it shrinks back a little bit, but it looks super cool with the glitter there. And I love how it adds to those ornaments and gives them a little texture. So cool. Okay, we have one more card to make. I hope you're still watching. This is card number 3, and these retro ornaments are so gorgeous. We'll get to those in just a second, but I want to show you how I'm going to emboss with this hot foil plate this time. So I have plate A and B, or platforms, from the new Universal Platform System. I'm going to spritz my cardstock one time with water. It makes it a little bit more flexible. And then I'm going to add in my little silicone mat here. This is layer E, and then the adapter plate D. Run that through my die cut machine, and it pressed this into the paper, and it looks so puffy and quilted. I'm loving this plate even more with more uses. Okay, now here we have that retro ornament cut and foil. I'm using the same teal foil that I've been using throughout, but this time on white cardstock. So I'm taping that in place so it doesn't move, and then I'll put that onto my preheated Glimmer hot foil system, press the timer, add my plates, run it through my die machine. It's just the combination of the heat and the pressure is what transfers your images onto your paper. It's quite magical. If you haven't hot foiled before, it is really fun. I do recommend using a smooth cardstock. That really helps for a good impression, and this came out beautifully. And now I'll go ahead and die cut that out with the coordinating die. I love retro Christmas also, so I think these ornaments are so playful and so cute. Look at them. I had to do some more. So I used some green foil and red foil, and I'm going to kind of make a busy little ornament scene here. So some of these are going to hang off the edge of the card, and that is just going to give it a really full look. And then I'll have the green on the left-hand side hanging off, and that's glued down as well. So the two outer ones glued in place. You want to use plenty of glue because the extra texture of the background. And then the teal ones in the center I'm going to pop up. I've got a lot of like strings and ornaments hanging off, so now it's time to trim everything down. So I'm going to cut that away, and it will really kind of calm down this busy little scene with the edges trimmed off. And I love the way that it looks. I think that this ornament set would be great too for some tags. I think that would make a fun, like, long tag. So I'm gluing that down onto my A2 size card base. I did stamp Merry Christmas and emboss it with that same California Gold embossing powder. And I am now embellishing my ornaments again because I loved how much it looked on that last card, and it looks so cute on this one as well. I also thought it would be fun to add a little dot in the center of the snowflakes on the background, and it gives it even more of a quilted look. So there's the wet look, and after it dries, it looks just like this. So good. It looks a little bit more brighter on the background when it's dry, and I love that I added it to that quilted background as well. So that is card number 3. Let's take a look at all 3 cards side by side. I'm so excited that I'm getting some of my Christmas cards done, and this new selection of products designed by Simon Hurley at Spellbinders is such a fun collaboration. The stamp sets were made through Ranger, so it's really a Simon Hurley Ranger Spellbinders collaboration, and it's fabulous. I'm going to link all of the collection for you in the description box below so you can check that out, because there's plenty of other things that you'll love. And I will see you guys again very soon with a new video. So if you're new here, feel free to subscribe. If you liked the video, you could let me know with a thumbs up, and I will chat with you in the comments below. Happy stamping! Bye!